Good morning. I'm Lori Jones, and this is Eric Montgomery, and we are traveling musicians and visiting you beautiful people today and sharing our music. So it's really good to be here, such a beautiful place. So just wanting to welcome everybody here in our sanctuary and in our Zoom room. Thank you for joining us today at Unity Spiritual Center in the Rockies. Kind of a drum roll there. This is a song that Eric and I wrote together called One Heartbeat. Conscious evolution, bring a revolution, show us a solution. Conscious evolution, bring a revolution, show us a solution. We breathe with the earth, we shine with the sun, we fly with the eagle, our hearts beat as one. We flow with the river, we sway with the tree. All our relations, all living things. One heartbeat, do we feel it? One pulsing rhythm inside and out. One cry for love's revealing. You, me, land and sea. Conscious evolution, bring a revolution, show us a solution. And you can sing this part with us if you're feeling it. Conscious evolution, bring a revolution, show us a solution. We dance neath the moon, we sing to the sky, we bow to the ocean, one with the tide. We stand on the mountain, we drink from one stream. All our relations, all living things. One heartbeat, do we feel it? One pulsing rhythm inside and out. One cry for love's revealing. You, me, land and sea. One heartbeat, do we feel it? One pulsing rhythm inside and out. One cry for love's revealing. You, me, land and sea. Here we go. Conscious evolution, bring a revolution, show us a solution. You got the words? Conscious evolution, bring a revolution, show us a solution. Now we are the solution. Conscious evolution, bring a revolution, we are the solution. Let's do that again because it sounds so good. Conscious evolution, bring a revolution, we are the solution. Conscious evolution, bring a revolution, we are the solution. Yeah.
Woo-wee! Lori and Eric and Lori, thank you. Good morning, everybody. My name is River Hansen, and I get to be your platform assistant today. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read something to you, and it is Unity in the Rockies is an inclusive community. We welcome all people, races, gender identities, and relational orientations. Wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you are welcome here. And now we're going to do some reciting together. It's our mission. We are an inclusive spiritual community where we recognize and express our oneness with our Creator and all creation. And now our vision. We are grounded in meditation, prayer, and healing, celebrating the Christ spirit within all people and with a thriving spirit of community and oneness shall be a leading spiritual light throughout the Pikes Peak region and the world. Okay, well done. All right, so I have a few announcements. The first is our Spirit at Sea Gratitude Cruise. We're going to have some updates after the service. The meeting will start at 11:30 in person and in Zoom. Speaking of Zoom, I want to say hi to all you Zoomies out there. The second announcement is the Board of Trustees announcement. We're going to be having our monthly meeting this Wednesday, the 19th, from 6 to 8. And as always, all are invited, whether it be in person or in Zoom. If you want to address the board, please provide a written request to Luana so that it can be considered for the agenda. And so be sure to get that into her pretty quick. And please limit whatever your comments are to 5 minutes. And then we have an announcement from the Sacred Women's Circle. We're going to be making our own mason jar succulent plants. Doesn't that sound great? It's going to be this Saturday from 3 to 4. It's going to be in our gazebo out on the side of our building. And this is an in-person project only, but we will be Zooming for out-of-towners only. So be sure to RSVP on eBlast. So go to your eBlast to RSVP, and that needs to be done by Wednesday. So meditation, every Sunday morning at 9 a.m., we have a meditation right here in the sanctuary. Next Sunday's meditation will be Journey into Self by our very own Marley Milner. And would you like to have something announced here on Sundays? Just contact myself or Marley by Saturday morning, and we'll be sure to get it onto our announcements list. So we've been with the new order of service now for going on 3 months, and we're welcoming any feedback and suggestions and praise. So and this includes the meditation as well. So I'll be distributing a survey in the next 2 to 3 weeks, and it's your chance to voice what you love and what you might want to see tweaked a bit. But I want to make clear, it's like the Rolling Stones song, you know, the one about you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometime, you will find. And Vern wanted me to let you know that the interest survey that he's been working on for weeks now, that this is the last day to get that filled out and turned in, and they're on the back table out there. And then you know about our final announcement, right? Welcome to the light on the mesa.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and grace. I can hear the brush of angels' wings, see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the rush of angels' wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place.
Good morning. My name is Jean Dutton. I am one of your prayer chaplains. Excuse me. My name is Jean Dutton, and I am one of your prayer chaplains. I will be able to pray with you individually after the service, along with Sylvia Strickland, another prayer chaplain. I'm reading from Unity's Daily Word publication for Sunday, April 16th. I live my vision for a peaceful world. To bring about peace in the world, I begin by paying attention to my first reaction when I feel I have been treated unjustly. I do not deny my feelings, but neither do I allow anger or envy or other negative feelings to take control of my response. I feel my feelings, but I remain committed to living the truth that I know. Regardless of behavior, every person is a divine being, a living expression of God. I call upon my divine faculties of love, faith, and strength to guide my next steps. No matter how another responds, I remain centered in God. My efforts make a difference. Peace between individuals creates peace within families, in communities, and among the nations of the world. The effect of righteousness or right-useness will be peace, and the result of righteousness, quietness, and trust forever. Isaiah chapter 32, verse 17. And so it is.
So many years, so many seasons, following many a muse. Every venture coming and going as I'm pulled toward deeper truth. The hurting, the crying, the stumbling and trying, all part of a greater good. And what falls away brings me closer to what I'm meant to be. What falls away is lifting me higher, up where I can see. With a kiss goodbye, I let go of all the tattered pieces, and what falls away reveals the essence of me. Oh, oh, oh. step now, every decision is rooted by Spirit in me. Embracing this path now, ever more fully, drawing to it what I need. And what falls away brings me closer to what I'm meant to be. What falls away is lifting me higher, up where I can see. With a kiss goodbye, I let go of all those tattered pieces, and what falls away reveals the essence. It's the essence of me. The essence of me. Oh. The hurting, the crying, all the stumbling and trying, it's all part of a greater good, yeah. And what falls away brings me closer to what I'm meant to be. What falls away is lifting me higher, up where I can see. With a kiss goodbye, I let go of all those pieces, and what falls away reveals the essence, the sweet, sweet essence of me. The essence of me. Let the rest fall away to the essence, to the essence, oh, the essence. Thank you.
How about one more? You've got us going. Can we talk you into one more round? One more chorus?
Oh, of that one? Sure. We're doing an encore. Wow,
Sure.
This is a first. And if you know the words by now, you can sing with us. What? The hurting, the crying?
Okay.
The hurting, the crying, all the stumbling and trying, it's all part of a greater good, yeah. And what falls away brings me closer to what I'm meant to be. What falls away, it's lifting us higher, up where we can see. With a kiss goodbye, we let go of all those pieces, and what falls away reveals the essence, the sweet, sweet essence of me. Yeah, yeah. The essence of me and you. We'll let the rest fall away to the essence, oh, to the essence, yeah, the essence. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautifully done. Lori Jones, Eric Montgomery. And so, my friends, as I listen to that song, I'm reminded of Michelangelo as he was carving the David. He said, I knew the angel was in there. I just had to carve away and release that which didn't belong. So thank you. What a blessing to have you with us. So these two beloveds are touring the world in the form of North America at the moment. If you saw this beautiful rig out back, they spent the night in our parking lot last night. You guys are raising the bar. I have not spent the night here yet. So thank you. They were complimenting our views. They're going to give us a 5-star rating on Yelp. We're now in the B&B business, folks. Hey, if Unity Village can do it, so can we. What a great joy to be with you. And coming off of a tremendous Easter Sunday, what a joy-filled, what a wonderful, what a in-depth time we had together, along with our bonnets and our neckties. And Richard and Linda tell me that we raised just under $3,000. So for everyone who wore a hat or a bonnet of any kind, thank you. For anyone who wore a necktie of any kind, thank you. And you know, I'm pretty sure this is going to continue to be an annual event. So for our Christmas and Easter folks, let them know they have something to look forward to. So, as always, so much going on today. Rick and I have some very special guests with us this morning. For those of you who know Dr. Roger Teal in Mile High Church in Denver, Roger and his wife Erica were just hosting a meditation retreat at the Franciscan Center. And we're honored to have not one, not two, but 3 of our dear friends who also happen to be religious science practitioners with us. If you would join me in welcoming Barbara Barrett, Kimberly Brown, and Jeanette Flynn. We recognize this is a bit of a schlep down the highway. They said, David, remind us again where your church is. I said, head south on I-25, past God, get off on Fillmore, pass Holmes, and you'll find us. So there you are. As River already alluded, right after the service at 11:30, Rick and I are also hosting a cruise meeting. We've got some fun new announcements to make. If anybody, for those who have already signed up, and for those who haven't, you still have lots of time, but we encourage that sooner rather than later. Our guests on the Zoom call are going to be Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes, a longtime Unity member who created Spirit at Sea Travel and who is going to be joining us on the cruise, and Ari Boris, who is our cruise concierge. So please join us. Next week is our volunteer fair. For those of you who have volunteered for so many years, thank you. For those of you who are interested in getting connected, this is a great opportunity to have a conversation with somebody. You know, David said this and this and this, but what do you really do on the bingo team, right? So all of our groups are going to be represented. It's going to be a wonderful time of conversation and connection, so please plan to join us for that. And as we continue our recognition of Volunteer Recognition Month, it gives me great joy to highlight one of so many beloveds in this community who continues to give and give and give and give some more. Today, we are giving a special shout out with all of our love and all of our hearts to the incomparable, to the ubiquitous Donna Grant. So, my friends, she is trained in first aid as well. Welcome, welcome. So, my friends, again, you know this better than I. This extraordinary being has been in my life consciously for about a year now, since I started guesting with you. And whoever I was talking to about anything, if I had a question about fellowship, oh, we need to talk to Donna. If I had a question about the sign outside, or the gazebo, or the grounds, or the sheds, oh, we should run that by Donna. Donna is the person who approached me and said, David, I'm so excited with everything that's happening at the church. We want to do a full meal in the fellowship hall. And dear Donna, I got grief for that. David, you're asking the fellowship team to do too much. I'm like, I'm not asking them to do anything. It's Donna. So many more things. She is a key member of the bingo team. The list goes on and on and on. And I just want to thank you for sharing your beloved with us. She is extraordinary. We are blessed by her presence, and we're so grateful for both of you.
You know how I love flowers.
Would you like to say a few words? And put the,
Okay, we'll put those back. So, let's see here, turn this on.
yep. She's also on the music team. She knows microphones.
Okay. Is it on? Okay. Okay, I want to introduce my husband, John Miller. Most of you haven't met him. John is my rock, and most days he teaches me about unconditional love. So he's very special. So thank you so much. I look out here and I see so many people that have given so many more years than me, and I'm really humbled with this recognition. I truly am. And it's been my great joy to do sacred service, and that's what volunteering for something like this is. It's sacred service. It brings so much joy for yourself and so much insight, and it also, it enlivens other people's lives. So that's why we do it, and that's why, I encourage you to check out every booth that there's going to be and become a volunteer, because it will really truly enlighten your life, and then you get to meet all kinds of people where you don't generally meet everybody, but when doing something like this is the fun part, is meeting people, and I've loved it, and I hope to do it more. I'm going to be a little detained for a while. Tomorrow I have colon cancer surgery, and that song that you said about what falls away brings us closer to the essence of my true nature, and it's exactly what's going to happen tomorrow. All those negative things that have come from my ancestors and through my life, it's the opportunity to cut it out and become a totally new and more aware person. And so thank you so much.
So I just want to thank everybody for your thoughts and prayers. And this has been my love for 22 years now. And she keeps me on the straight and narrow, except falling. that was a little rocky road there. But she's the love of my life, and this is just a small setback. And I'm so happy she has found Unity of the Rockies as a foundation, and all you as her friends. And I just love her so much.
Oh, and my younger grandchildren's mama is here today. Would you stand up, Holly? Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, thank you. Clearly the epitome of, if you have to take a step back, make it look like a waltz, right? So Dear Donna, we continue to surround you with great love. We know for you only the highest and best, and health and wellness and healing and wholeness. And we know that every member of your care team is there in loving support of you, that they too know only your highest and best. We see you, we love you, we bless you. We look forward to continuing to celebrate you and celebrate with you in perfect time. And so, my friends, isn't that an interesting segue? Isn't that an interesting lead-in for our topic today, vulnerability, letting go and letting in? When Donna and I first had this conversation about the possibility of us recognizing her, I had her wrong number. I had the wrong number for her in my phone. So Lou and I are talking, and I'm like, I'm calling, and it's not taking voicemails, and I'm texting, and nobody's responding. And whoever has that number I was sharing with, bless you, and thank you for being kind. And so I sent out a note to, half of the world, which is my proclivity, and said, Donna, I hope this is okay. This is what we're planning on for Sunday. She said, oh, Dr. David, I'm so sorry. Here's my number. She gave me the right number. She apologized for something that wasn't her fault. We had a beautiful conversation. And she said the same thing that she said to you. So many people have done so much more than me. And I'm like, yes, and we will honor each and every person. And in this moment, this community wants to love and support and uplift you. And I said, where are you on your path with regard to your surgery? And she said, well, I've shared it with some people. I haven't shared it with a lot of people. I said, it's not mine to share. So wherever you are in your process, would you like me to pray for you? Would you like us to pray for you? Oh no, my church family knows. I would really appreciate a prayer. So that is vulnerability, you see. She could have, and absolutely in integrity, just a different choice. She could have gone silently to the hospital and then not been here for a month or 6 weeks. And she chose to stand in her power to say, this is a condition, and I am much more than any condition in which I might find myself. And P.S., just in case, will you have everybody pray for me, right? May not help, but it couldn't hurt. My words, not hers. So that's what we're doing when we talk about vulnerability, letting go and letting in. What does that look like as we explore that? So one of the key concepts of unity, one of the key concepts of new thought is wholeness. And we get to understand all of that. We get to understand the Facebook wholeness and the Instagram wholeness and the TikTok wholeness, as well as the stuff that we're not putting on social media. We get to be in the pain. We get to be in the fear. Because what I know is the one power, the one presence that I choose to call God, that I choose to call Spirit, is in, around, and through it all, you see. There is no spot where God is not. So when I'm having that human moment of not being in 100% alignment and not knowing the true essence of my being, I reach out to my prayer partners. I reach out to you. And that is what our chaplains do so beautifully. That is what religious science practitioners do so beautifully. When you can't see your own light, that is all they see. So when Jean suggests that she's available to pray with you after service today, please consider taking her up on that. Whether you're in a place of celebration or you're in a place of challenge, let us do what we know how to do. Let us lean into prayer as a powerful support system. So the first thing we're going to explore then is that of knowing. So many of us are so good about knowing something for everybody else in our lives, right? We know the beauty and the joy and the graciousness that are our children, most days. and our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren, and our great-great-grandchildren. We understand the unconditional love of our pets. We have two beautiful four-leggeds with us today. Lori and Eric's dog, Buddy, is guarding the back 40, and we have another dog guarding the front 40. So I invite everybody to come back and bring your four-leggeds and your creepy crawlies and your winged ones for our pet blessing in June. It's going to be awesome. I digress. So the knowing that for ourselves what we know for the rest of the world, it's easy. Honestly, it's easy for some of us to be in that place of prayer, to be in that place of seeing your light, right? Because we've been on the journey for a while. We practiced it and we know it. And it's not always easy for me to know that for myself. And I suggest you might have a similar experience. So that is where spiritual community comes in. That's where we get to say, I'm not sure about this. Can you hold this for me? Can you hold this space for me? Will you pray about this with me or for me? That is what I love see happening in the fellowship hall, in the foyer before the service, reaching out to one another. And a clear example of that, I shared with you a few weeks ago that I had the honor of supporting a family as they were burying their stillborn daughter. She was born to heaven. She has a 2-year-old brother and a mom and a dad and grandparents and everybody who loves her dearly. And as we were doing the service for this extraordinary being, I shared that, and I shared what I just told you in a slightly different format. I told everybody present at the graveside, her bigger brother Jonas was there, and he's 3. And he kind of got the celebration. He didn't get the tears. He knew that his mom and dad were sad. And I said, if you're saying anything to yourself that you wouldn't say to 3-year-old Jonas, stop it. You're having these conversations with yourself. You spend the most time with yourself. That is our growing edge as people on a spiritual path. We get to be gentle with ourselves. If you wouldn't say it to a 3-year-old, don't say it to yourself. I went to put a spoon in the cooking container beside our stove. I missed. It fell on the stove. Not a world-crashing event. And what do? Oh, good, David. No. Erase, erase, erase. It's okay. It's part of the process. It's a human moment, right? So let us be gentle with ourselves in that knowing. Be kind to yourself. I love this quote from Ernest Holmes. Always there is an inner, quiet, persistent confidence, a non-resistant but complete acceptance, an inward flowing with the stream of life, knowing that it carries me safely and surely to my destination and to the accomplishment of every good purpose. What if we got to bask in that knowing? What if we got to be a part of that truth? The second key ingredient to vulnerability, then, is allowing. So it's one thing to know it. It's a completely different thing to allow it. The willingness to let go and allow us to fully embrace all aspects of ourselves. All aspects of ourselves. Met some friends that we hadn't seen in a while. Oh, you guys are looking really good. David, you're a lot grayer than you used to be. Yeah, I stepped into ministry. So we get to appreciate all of those parts of ourselves. Fear and uncertainty can be barriers to vulnerability, creating walls so high and so thick that nobody and nothing gets in. Well, the positive of that is nobody and nothing gets in. The interesting of that is nobody and nothing gets in, right? For those who have had any experience with energy work and shielding energy, It all comes to being able to shield oneself and for whatever you use, whatever membrane, to be permeable, so you're not shutting yourself off from the world. So your energy gets out and you're consciously allowing what comes in. So sometimes those walls come down in one sweep. We have a big aha, we have a great meditation, we have a wonderful prayer retreat, and it's gone and it's awesome, and we're on to the next piece of our work, right? And most of the time, it's brick by brick. It's piece by piece. It's stone by stone. Not a good or a bad to either one of those. So again, be gentle with yourself, whatever your process is. And you've heard me reference my time in the musical group Up With People. And one of the chorus of one of the songs that we sung said, "When we come to a river that's too wide, we'll build a bridge to the other shore. When we come to a wall that's too high, we'll build a door." Yeah, we'll build a door. So what if that is your thought, rather than walling yourself off from all thoughts, all feelings, all emotions, rather to be in that place of permeability, to allow that energy to flow. It takes vulnerability. It takes a willingness, and sometimes a willingness to be willing. Maybe part of the journey is just being willing to be willing if you're not ready to go there quite yet. So I invite you into that if there's something there for you. It's the activity of allowing that allows us to be our true self. When we allow that vulnerability, we are grounded, we are centered, and then we're able to communicate verbally, non-verbally, whatever that looks like, with those around us that much more effectively. The law of flotation was not discovered by contemplating the sinking of things, but by contemplating the floating of things which floated naturally, and then intelligently asking why they did so. Thomas Troward is one of my all-time favorites, and that is from the Edinburgh Lectures. It just speaks to my heart. There is a positive, there is a lesson in all, should we choose to listen. And a new author for me, Kia Brown, the name of her book is The Pretty One, on life, pop culture, disability, and other reasons to fall in love with me. She says, when we are vulnerable, I believe we are our truest selves. Emotion is all about vulnerability, and that is why, in the cheesiest sense, it's so beautiful. Well spoken. Vulnerability opens the door for us for all of life's experiences to rush in. Now, that's not to say that all of those experiences are always going to be positive or that we're always going to be super excited to see them. Yay! What we do know is that the willingness to be vulnerable, to open ourselves to love, to joy, to sadness, to heartbreak, and to all things in between, creates an expanded space for us to live and to grow. It gives texture to our lives. It speaks to wholeness and fullness of life. Wholeness does not represent just the things we love, but also encompasses the things we would rather have nobody hear or see or experience. It calls us to loosen our grip in areas that keep us playing small and to open up to possibilities that await us. The call, my friends, perhaps is for us to try softer. Has anybody ever tried harder? It works. It serves certainly in the short term, perhaps in the long term. And when I was a young guy in the corporate world in Denver and a member of the Denver Athletic Club, don't know what the heck I was doing there, but I was there, and the president of the club was just this mega guy, extraordinary career, wonderful athlete. He had the sit-up record, he had the pull-up record. Now, to be clear, to paint a picture, I'm the guy who had to be bullied into climbing the rope halfway in gym class. So physical expertise has not always been one of my strengths. And yet, Peter, this mega alpha dude, great guy, kind heart, very successful in everything that he did, best I could tell. That's a quote from him. Sometimes you have to try softer. What does that feel like for you? Is there something that you're pushing against? Is there something that you're not seeing the results that you'd like? I keep trying everything, David. I'm praying, I'm working with a chaplain, I'm reading, I'm doing my spiritual practice, I'm listening to spiritual music. What do you want from me? It's not working, right? What are you trying harder at that you might get to dial it back just a little bit? Where can you try softer? Where can you let the universe support you? Because if you have the intention, if you know who you are, if you know the direction that you're going, if you know what you're calling in, you don't have to know the how. We've had some great conversations with folks about the cruise. I don't know how I'm going to come up with that money. You don't have to know the how. Set the intention, let the universe figure it out. You're a person of faith. You're a metaphysician. You're on a spiritual path. You are co-creating the life of your dreams with the divine. Let spirit help. Try it. It's a great test market, if nothing else. And as I think about that, trying softer then, I'm also reminded of our founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. And within unity circles, you all know perhaps better than I, they're often referred to as Myrtle and Charles Fillmore. Myrtle found the teaching first. Myrtle was a sickly child for her whole life. She was the delicate one. She was sick. She had to stay indoors. She couldn't. She didn't. They didn't want her. She was the protected child because she was sickly. Well, at some point in her adult life, Myrtle Fillmore was diagnosed with tuberculosis. And she thought, I am beyond circumstance. This may be what they're thinking. It's not what I know I am or what I'm feeling. Myrtle took 2 years. She was in prayer every day, literally speaking to every cell in her body. I am healthy. I am whole. I am perfect. I am complete. I am a perfect expression of the divine. The divine does not know sickness. The divine does not know illness. The divine does not know tuberculosis. For 2 years, she sat and she prayed. And guess what? A miraculous healing. When Myrtle died, it was not of tuberculosis. And so Charles, being the consummate salesman, they actually lived in Pueblo for a little bit of their lives. 1 or 2 of their sons were born here before the real estate market wasn't as strong, and they moved to Kansas City, and that's where Unity was born. So Charles saw this miraculous recovery for his beloved, and he thought, maybe there's something to this. So Charles also had some physical problems. Stories vary, but long story short, he had a leg and hip problem. And so his method was similar to Myrtle's, but where Myrtle would pray out loud and write in journal, Charles went into the silence. He went into the silence and he sat and he meditated. And he did that so regularly that his pain was relieved as well. And so after they had both experienced those healings, that is when they created their declaration, where the 2 of them personally declared that they are devoting their lives to God and to this healing ministry, and they invite anyone to join who wants to join, and that they know that they are supported on every level. So that was the birth of Unity. So my friends, we are a healing order. That is what we know works. And that is why we continue to surround our beloved Donna and other members of our congregation with that support, right? In the truth and the beauty and the joy and the love that is prayer. So the willingness to be open and vulnerable with ourselves is an important step in living a life out loud. It calls us to look at all the aspects of ourselves and to hold them with love and with gentleness. As we begin to make friends with ourselves, we are empowered to let go of things that no longer serve us and allow and open to our authentic selves. We are called to embrace the wholeness of life and explore ways to allow our understanding of that wholeness to open the door to vulnerability, to authenticity, and ultimately to connection. So as I was reflecting on what I wanted to share today, another story that came to me is when I was having a conversation with my oldest sibling. And my oldest brother was born my oldest brother in 1956. And he called about 40 years later to share with me that he was transgender and that my brother Randy with a Y would now like to be referred to as my sister Randy with an I. And I thought, bless you. I think that's perfect. That suits you. I don't know very much about this right now, but I love you and I honor you and support you. I didn't use those words, but that's what I'm thinking. And Randy's first words over the phone were, "What do you think? Are you with me or against me?" And I said, "Darling, I love you. You have had 40 years to figure this out. I need more than 4 minutes. I can tell you I love you. I can tell you I want you to be whoever you are and whatever makes your heart happy. And I'm not willing to be with you or against you because I'm always in your corner," right? So what that struck me as kudos to Randy for recognizing who she was and how she wanted to be referred to. We had a conversation earlier about boundaries, right? And she was very clear who she was and who she wanted to be going forward. And that's perfect. And I love that about her. And I have to share with you, Randy chose to leave the planet in 2004 and left an ex-wife and 3 adult children, and two boys and a girl, 2 of my nephews and my only niece. And my niece, when she went to college, she was in her freshman composition class, and she said, "Well, Uncle Dave, I had this and Randy was clear that her kids could still refer to her as Dad. She said, "I have been Dad and I will always be Dad, and I have no problem with that." So if you hear me mixing genders, that's why. So my niece is saying, "Uncle Dave, I had this conversation with my dad, and my dad said that yes, he's going to have this surgery and gender alignment surgery, and she's going to be a woman and so forth." And then she said, and I said, "Dad, are you ever going to date again?" And Randy thought about it and said, "Well, yes." And Randy's daughter said, "Well, you're going to date men or are you going to date women?" And Randy thought about it and said, "Honey, my body is changing. My orientation is not. So I'm transitioning from being a man to becoming a woman, and my relational orientation is not changing. I was attracted to your mom as a man. I will continue to be attracted to your mom and women as a woman." And my niece was working through that, and she said, "So Uncle Dave, the way that I chose to work through it is for my freshman comp class, I wrote an essay that said, 'My dad is a lesbian.'" I said, honey, I'm a college professor as well. I teach a writing class at Metro State University. And if I got that essay, I wouldn't know whether to flunk you or give you extra credit. And so, my friends, all of that to say, when we stand in our own power, when we stand in our own knowing, when we stand in our own authenticity, nobody has to understand it except us. And I invite you to consider in this community of great love, of great support, when it is comfortable for you to have a conversation about anything with anybody. I just trust that you will be welcomed and received with an open heart. As we are not here to judge, we're not here to tell you what to believe or how to believe. We're simply here to say, let's go on this fascinating journey together. And as we allow ourselves to be more vulnerable, it feels like it'll be a whole lot more fun. Are you with me? Yes. Please join me in prayer. If our chaplains would please stand, and if our guest religious science practitioners would also stand and join me. So it is good this day, as we speak about vulnerability, as we speak about releasing that which no longer serves, as we speak about creating more room for the authentic me, for the authentic you, for the power and presence that is God expressing as you. I get God bumps thinking about it. I love that. It just brings me great joy. And I'm reminded of the beautiful Eric Butterworth when he wrote, I am receptive to the inflow and the outpouring of the universe. I am receptive. I am open. I am willing. I am able. Use me, O God. I call it good. I call it blessed. I call this time divinely inspired and divinely appointed. I release, I let go, I allow it to be as it continues to unfold beautifully and perfectly in your life, in the lives of all whom we love, in the lives of our greater community, indeed of every sentient being on the planet. It is good. All is well with my soul. Thank you, Spirit. We anchor this together by saying, and so it is, and so I am, and so we are. Bless you. Thank you. And now it is time, my friends, for us to enter into that place of conscious giving. We are so grateful that you continue to offer your gifts, your tithes, your offerings of time, of talent, so many gifts. We are so blessed in so many ways. So I just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you would, please join me in our prosperity affirmation. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
When you're standing at the threshold, don't let fear decide how it'll all unfold. Take one step toward what you love, and let that heart of yours, let it rise above, and trust that you'll have everything you need, beyond illusion of security. Love will provide. Pour it out and let it flow back to you. Oh, love will provide. Cast the doubt aside, 'cause love will provide. Don't let worry drag you down. Put the brakes on worn out thoughts and keep spinning around. Take one step toward inspiration and let it lift you up into a higher vibration, and know that you have everything you need. 'Cause love is the only true security. Yeah, love will provide. Pour it out and let it flow back to you. Oh, love will provide. Cast the doubt aside, 'cause love will provide. Oh, yeah. And oh, you gotta let love take you. Oh no, it will not forsake you. Oh, 'cause love will provide. Yeah, pour it out and let it flow back to you. Yeah, love will provide. Cast the doubt aside, 'cause love will provide. Cast all your doubt aside, 'cause love will provide. Yeah. Yes, it will.
Lori Jones, Eric Montgomery, there we are. Thank you. And thank you, Brad and Julie. So we are so grateful for the outpouring of love, for the outpouring of grace, for the outpouring of abundance. We are blessed in so many ways. Thank you, Spirit. God is magnificent, and so it is. And so, my friends, Lori and Eric have a table set up at the back of the sanctuary with some CDs with a little bit of their product. If you would like to continue the conversation, if you would like to take some of their music home with you, please, I would encourage you to support their powerful ministry, but only if you promise to come back and visit us. We wish you all the best on your travel adventures. We so appreciate the environmentally conscious way that you're traveling. They're completely self-contained. They didn't even need to plug in a hairdryer. You are extraordinary, and we are blessed. Thank you. And as we have been doing for a few months now, let us rub our hands together as we bless the children of this community and the children of the planet. You are loved, special, and important. We see you and bless the divine being that you are. Yes. So, my friends, as we go forth, I know we do so with grace, we do so with great joy, we do so with ease. Please join us at 11:30 for the cruise meeting. Please join us in the fellowship hall. If you'd like to continue our conversation around vulnerability, there are some purple sheets with some questions that might help facilitate that conversation. Also, if you have any written prayer requests, there's a prayer box in the hall as well. Our chaplains will pray over those requests all week for you. And as Jean said, she and Sylvia are available for prayer however they might support you. And so, after our prayer for protection, I invite you to stay in your rows, to join hands if you choose for the peace song. Thank you for being with us today. On the way in, I heard somebody say, "Wow, it's full in there." Let's get used to it. Bless you. Go in power, go in peace.
this be my solemn vow to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me.
Okay.